Now the Jabatan Nilai Act, which is a government body, in 1998 said that port line free zone placed by build all this infrastructure was valued at 17 ringgit in 1998, at 17 ringgit with reclamation as well as with infrastructure. In 2000, it went up to 18 ringgit per square foot, and in 2000, later in 2000, in August 2000, it went up to 21 ringgit per square foot. This includes infrastructure work as well as reclaiming of whatever land that they're supposed to do. And finally, in 2000, it was bought at 25 ringgit. Now, I have a document here, which was sent by Pulau Indah Marina Resort, which was then a joint venture company between Arab Malaysian Development Berhad and Perbankan Kemajuan Negeri Selangor. They wrote to Lembaga Pelabuhan Kelang, that is LPK, or Portland authorities, to the Dati Osipang. Now, Dati Osipang is a very important person. Don't forget the name, Dati Osipang. You will hear her name very soon. That's it, not so much also here, but also in the newspapers and so on. So that was written to her in 1998, where they said, we have land in just adjoining Port Klang authorities. That means it's a big patch of land. Sorry, map here. Just have to believe what I'm going to tell you. This place is just next to this is Port Klang free zone. This is the place that they're talking about, and they wanted to sell it to Port Klang authorities. And they in 1998 sell it to you for 15 ringgit and 14 cents per square foot. 15 ringgit and 14 cents per square foot with reclamation and infrastructure. So there was another bid which was 10 ringgit lower than what was paid by the federal government, or the authorities. In fact, the President of Malaysia told the authorities not to buy the land, but to acquire the land for 10 ringgit, but this bought land for 25 ringgit. This is a clear proof that indeed there was a low. This is indeed a proof that there was a lower bid, which was 15 ringgit and 14 cents per square foot, including infrastructure work, including the reclamation of land. Whereas in 2000, the government bought it for 25 ringgit. Even in 1998, it was 17 ringgit. Whereas this company was saying, we are willing to give you our land, which is just next to the Port Klang authorities, for a much, much lower cost of 15 ringgit and 14 cents. This is just the beginning. It's not the problem. Now we go to the next problem, how plunder was organized. First, you inflate the cost of the land. Even when there is evidence that this can be bought cheaper. Second is the issue of quantity surveyor. Now, as you know, quantity surveyors are very important. In any project that you do, any development that you do, commercial development or housing development, quantity surveyors are important largely for the purposes of valuation and determining whether you need the change and how much the component replacement is going to cost. So quantity surveyors are very, very, very important. Actually very important. Now in the first draft of the agreement that was written out between Kuala Demensi and Port Klang authorities, actually said, and I quote, that the independent quantity surveyor shall be pre-agreed and the parties shall agree within 2 months of the date of this agreement. So the first draft of the agreement says, okay, we will agree to appoint a quality surveyor. The second draft also says that we will appoint a quantity surveyor, right? But the final draft makes no mention of the quantity surveyor. It says all valuation changes will be dependent on the determination of Portland authorities itself, which means the person who will determine the increase in the cost in the VO, the valuation increase, will be the person I just mentioned, the manager who is OCPA. So that means to say, they can increase the cost as much as they want, and nobody is there to tell them whether it is right or wrong except themselves. So now Portland authorities take responsibility to but determine the cost of changes in the valuation. Now, as I said, in the first two drafts, the quality surveyor was to be appointed 2 months after the project was supposed to be, once the agreement is signed. But in the final agreement here, you can read it if you want, final agreement, the whole idea of a quality surveyor is dropped. No mention, except now all valuation will be subject to the written approval and consent of Portland authorities. Now, this is a further issue. Let me give you why there is a problem here. The problem is, in the offer letter, two quality dimensions. In the offer letter, it says any change. See, when they buy the land for 25 ringgit, you agree that this is what you will do to the land. This is the infrastructure that you will put and you build. Okay? Now, when you don't have a quantity surveyor, this is what will happen. I'll give you an example of that. In the original agreement, it says that for the 1,000 acres of Portland and Free Zone, you will need 1.3 million gallons per day of water supply. This is agreed. 1.3 million gallons per day of water supply, which will be found at the $25 per square foot. That's what you agreed. Okay? Now, somebody comes along and says, actually this place needs much more water. Now we don't need 3 million gallons of water, 1.3 million gallons of water. Somebody comes along and says, now we need 10 million gallons per day. So it just exponentially increased from $1.3 million up to 3 million per gallon per day. Now it has gone up to 10 million gallons per day. Now, this is empty land. Nothing has been built. But from 1.3 million gallons per day, it has gone up to 10 million gallons per day. So what did Portland authorities do? They said, okay, we will now reconstruct the place to now accommodate 10 million gallons per day. So now, what do? They acquired new land. They acquired more than 1,000 acres of land to put up this infrastructure, and then increase the infrastructure, increase the cost of the project by 52 million. There is no quality surveyor involved here. Who determines it? It is Portland authorities, General Manager, OCPA. Now, there's another change. And now actually what happens is, if you factor in the 10,000 gallons per day, it is no longer 25 ringgit per square foot. It increases to $27 ringgit and 82 cents. So the price of the land goes up. So, and that is the significance of not having a quantity surveyor. You determine the increase, because anybody will tell you in an empty land where there's hardly any infrastructure, you don't need 10 million gallons per day. Even 1.3 million is too much. It's too much and you can use it for 20 years. But somebody says, how do I make money? Let's increase, let's inflate the project. And that is why you have in this island, Portland, a 4-star hotel and a convention center. A 4-star hotel and a convention center. For what? You have to go to see what I'm saying. You have to see the place and say, why does this place need a 4-star hotel and a convention center? Mind-boggling, right?